Now, Mitch, there have been more than a few repeat guests at Terrificon over the
Yes.
years. Who are your favorite guests? And can you tell everyone about one of my favorite repeat guests, John Wesley Shipp?
You've just answered the question there. John Wesley Shipp was the very first media guest I ever had. He showed up in Trumbull when we did the one-day show, and he was working on a Sci-Fi Channel movie not too far away. And there was no relaunch of the Flash TV show yet. And to me, he's the Flash from the early 90s. That's the guy I knew.
Mhm.
And then he did other shows. He was on soap operas as well, too. So John Wesley Shipp was there. And we didn't have a spot for him because we never had actor guests before. I was only doing this. This is the second year I've done one of these shows. So we put him out in a patio. And again, this place was designed for weddings. So there was an outdoor patio with a gazebo, where the bride would take her pictures and stuff. So that's the power patio now. What? It's the power patio. And you are going to be in the power patio. And John Shipp was there. And then I'd get the local DJs and we would do a stage for the costume contest, but we would do skits, like a comedy, like a vaudeville routine. I don't know why. I just thought we entertain people. So we had a fellow dressed as Superman, and we had the local DJs, big guy named the Wigmaster. And what he was famous for around here was drinking a lot of tequila. So I came up with a script where he drank tequila with a kryptonite ice cube, and it was a kryptonite cocktail. And he made the Man of Steel drink it, and he lost his powers. And now he was the superior human. The Wigmaster was, and Superman had lost his powers. So we had this all scripted, and we're up on the stage. And what happened is I was supposed to go, oh no, the terrible Wigmaster is going to take over the world. Is there a Superman in the house? Now, the kid that was playing Superman was there. He was in the back waiting for the whole routine. But at the time I went to look for him, he was not there. What had happened is he had to go to the bathroom. But he hadn't done it before in the suit. And it's not as easy as just unzipping your fly. So we had to take off the whole thing to go take a leak. And then he had to put it all back on. So in that time, it took the Man of Steel about 15 minutes to get back. But here we are on stage, and there's no Superman and we're looking at each other. And the audience doesn't know that it's a miss, but I do. And the Wigmaster, the DJ, leans over to me and goes, it's all part of the show. They don't know what's going on, so just make up stuff. So literally we're there, and I look over and I see John Wesley Shipp. He's watching the show too, like, huh? And then I go, we don't have a Man of Steel. He's like, the fastest man alive is here. So he got in on it too. And we were just stalling for time until Superman finally came out of the bathroom and got to do the show. And I remember John, and his father was a minister, a reverend, and he was telling me how he loved the vibe of the show because it was like a church picnic or a church fair or something like that. It was like an old time community thing. It wasn't just you pay your money, get an autograph, and get out of here, kid. It was more like a family cookout. And he said, whenever you want, just call me. And to this day, he does. And I say, John, you want to come back? And I think he's been back 6 or 7 times or something like that over the last 12 years I've been doing this stuff. Nicest guy, the fastest man on earth, and the nicest guy on the planet. I always have John Wesley Shipp. He is the epitome of what all guests should be. He's friendly to the fans. He's friendly to the staff. He's always there. A good John Shipp story, this woman had driven to the show to see him, and at that time he'd already left and went up to his room, and he was done for the day. And she was so upset. She goes, oh, my God, I drove like an hour and a half just to meet John Wesley Shipp. I'm such a big fan. And I'm like, oh, okay. And, I can't let somebody go disappointed. So I went upstairs, knocked, John, hi. There's a fan downstairs. Oh, she wants to see me? Sure, I'll be right out. I'm just going to take a quick shower. Okay. Sure enough, the man's down there 5 minutes later. So his wet hair. He had just got out of the shower, just to shake. And he's there because he didn't disappoint a fan. And she's like, oh my God, John Shipp. And she took the pictures and he talked to her and all that. And he's like, okay, nice to meet you. And the fact that he did that, I mean, I've met a lot of people before and after this career of doing conventions. Some people aren't going to give you all their time. Sometimes they're going to say, no, that's it. I'm done. I was scheduled to be here and we're out of here.
Of course.
But no, not this fella. No, he would always do it. And he would call to check on my kids. I remember getting voicemails from John when my sons were going off to college. And he's like, oh, how's this? And how's this? And, look for this and that and stuff. So he's just a nice guy. And it's very hard in a world that's very cynical and a world that has so many people always trying to get something out of you and trying to make a quick buck or, doing with their own agendas, to meet a genuinely nice person who's just there to make someone happy. And it shows on his face. Like, you look at the guy, you think he's 30 years old. I'm not going to say how old he really is, but I'm just saying when you live a good life and you make people happy, I don't believe in all that karma stuff, but I think there's something to it. It does come back tenfold. And, he just every time I see him, on Facebook and Instagram, wherever, he's always smiling. He's always living a good time, and God bless him. If the whole world was like John Shipp, there wouldn't be any trouble. Let me just tell you that.
Absolutely.
So to answer your question,
I remember back then, he was not working a terrible lot when you first.
No, that's why he was doing a
sci-fi show. Like a year later or a year and a half later, he got booked for The Flash.
That's right. The Flash show came back on the CW, and they booked him as Henry Allen, Barry Allen's dad. Right. And he got a whole new career again.